Hello, young men. So in today's video, we're going to use distributive property to find the sum of 18 plus 24. We know that, well, I know that a few of you guys were struggling with this, so I'm going to model for you guys how to do it, and then you'll get some homework problems at the end that will be due on Tuesday, the 25th of September. Okay, so in order to use the distributive property to find the sum, you want to find the greatest common factor between the two addends that are given. So our two addends are 18 and 24. We know in order to find the greatest common factor, we can use a Venn diagram to find the factor pairs. In order for us to find the greatest common factor, we know we always start with 1. 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. We know that 4 doesn't work because if we did 18 divided by 4, we would get a remainder. We know 5 doesn't work for the same reason, and we already have 6, so we have all our factors. If you do not remember how to find GCF, or greatest common factor, there's a video that you can go to that's labeled greatest common factor, where we use the Venn diagram as well. So now let's try to find the factors for 24. We know 1 is always... It's always 1 in the number. 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. We know 5 doesn't work. 6 is already there. So now we have all of our factors for 24. Then we circle the ones they have in common and write it in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 6. They do not have 9, they do not have 18. So our GCF is 6. Now, there's two ways for us to come up with the actual answer. I'm going to show you the first way, and then I'll show you the second way. For students that do not need to use the area model, and they're able to come up with the answer right away, we know that our answer must end like so, with your GCF, the factor, and the factor. We know GCF is 6. It's the greatest factor they have in common. We know that 3 times 6 gives us 18, and we know that 4 times 6 gives us 24. That's one way to come up with the answer. Now, some students had trouble identifying which factors go here, so that is what the area model is for, which I'll show you right now. So the area model, we know we set it up like this. And it's exactly how it sounds. It's basically the area of these two rectangles. So this is 18, this is 24. We know the GCF is 6. 6 times what gives us 18? 6 times 3. 6 times what gives us 24? 6 times 4. And we know that our answer must end in this format. Our GCF, which is 6. Our factors, which is 3 and 4. And this is how our answer should look. 6, open parentheses, 3 plus 4, close parentheses. And there was one last strategy that I showed to 6 Harvard. The other 6th grade classes, you can try the strategy as well if you understand it once I show it. It's using the ladder method. So we know for the ladder method, we have to look for a number that can go into both numbers. And looking at this, you could either start with the smallest number, or you could start with the largest number you can think of. So let's say the first number that comes to mind is 2. How many times does 2 go into 18? 9. How many times does 2 go into 24? 12. Then you ask yourself, what number can go into both 9 and 12? We know it's 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times. This is our GCF on the side here. Our greatest common factor. So we know that And I told you guys to bring the pluses down so you don't forget it. Remember, you only put the pluses when you're using distributive property to find the sum. And that's only just for you to remember to include the pluses in your final answer. And then we know our final answer will be 6, 3, plus 4. Alright, so this is your homework. Use the distributive property to find the sum for number 1, 11 plus 44, number 2, 27 plus 36, number 3, 45 plus 50, number 4, 64 plus 56. You can use the ladder method if you feel comfortable with it. You can use the Venn diagram. You can use the area model. But make sure you remember you must find the greatest common factor between the two numbers first, whichever strategy you decide to use. Remember that this homework is due on Tuesday, September 26th. If you have any questions, write them down and bring them to class, and I will answer them for you. Have a great one. Peace and love.